I recently got an email from my dear friend Mike Cohn, and I thought I would share this with you. The topic of the email is what to do when Scrum meetings go wrong, which I found really interesting. It starts out, I hate getting stuck in traffic. I grew up in Los Angeles and lived in New York, so I should probably be used to it, but I'm not. As frustrating as I find traffic, I've never gotten angry at the lines on the highway. The lines on the highway are there to help me and other drivers go faster than we could without them. They tell us which direction we can go, where to position our cars, when it's safe to change lanes and turn, and more. The meetings in Scrum are much like those lines on the road. They're there to help us go fast. All too often, though, Scrum can feel bloated because teams allow the meetings to take too long. Okay, let's pause there. So I love the analogy with traffic. I grew up in New Orleans, once again, a heavy traffic city, and I had the opportunity to travel to Atlanta quite a bit. And I can tell you, traffic in Atlanta is probably the worst in the country, in my opinion, even worse than Los Angeles. I've been to both. So what I can tell you is I understand the logic of this comparison. So let's keep going. A good way to prevent this is by keeping each meeting focused on its purpose. One meeting that often seems to stray from the purpose is sprint planning. Let's take a look at some ways you can keep that meeting moving in the right direction, starting with a refresher on the purpose of the meeting. So the purpose of sprint planning is to establish the sprint goal and choose the relevant product backlog items that the team will tackle. Makes perfect sense. As part of choosing the product backlog items for a sprint, team members typically discuss the tasks required to complete the product backlog item. Often these tasks are given estimates, and the result is captured in what's called the sprint backlog. Once again, I think everything here is straightforward and logical. While these discussions are helpful, they should last only long enough to help choose the appropriate work. On the other hand, team members often get hung up in lengthy debates over which approach to use or how long each task will take, and the meeting can quickly get out of hand. So let's pause there. This is absolutely true. One of the things I've noticed is that when you get into the weeds, when you get into the devil of the details, things go wrong. This is why it's important to both time box these discussions in meetings and to make sure that you're not trying to solution everything out. So you want to time box how long the discussions can take. And if we need more discussion, let's set it aside for a more lengthy discussion later. But the things we're certain of, let's get through those as quickly as we can. So to bring the team back to the purpose of the meeting, remind them that you only have to decide if the item will fit in a sprint. Not agree on completely how we're going to approach it or exactly how many minutes each task is going to take. You don't need to break it down in hours, right? Remind them that you can discuss implementation details at the beginning of the sprint. Offer to set up time with relevant team members after sprint planning to dive into the specifics. So, for more on what to do when teams complain that Scrum has too many meetings, you can always go to Mike's blog. They have one that's called Do Scrum Teams Meet Too Much? And I have one that is called Calling the Rats, and it talks about how to optimize meetings. So both of those are good posts. So I think the point we're trying to make here is that Scrum meetings shouldn't be a burden. The meeting of Scrum should be helpful and intuitive and fast-moving. Rather, they are like lines on a highway in comparison. They help the team move more quickly. And if it feels like meetings are slowing down your team, try making changes, try pivoting, try making small adjustments. If you shorten the meeting's time box and still achieve the purpose, everybody will be on track to succeed with Agile and things will go well. I think the key here is keeping the meeting short and sweet, making sure you have the right people involved, and time boxing things so discussions don't go too long. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And thanks, Mike, for another great email. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care. Thanks, Mike.